My name is Lucas Freitas and I'm a student from PlantLab coming all the way from Brazil. I currently live in Oakland, California. For my final project, I was inspired by my homeland Brazil and I created a 3-course that is a trilogy of the history of Brazil. The first course, Amazônia, which means Amazon in Portuguese, is about pre-colonial Brazil and our indigenous past. I take some local greens, put them on a ring, and then I make this delicious passion fruit vinaigrette. Passion fruit is actually a native fruit to Brazil and it's really delicious, really has this a little bit of sweetness and also is a little bit acidic. Some pickled radishes, which I then put around this ring, and then I finish off with some deliciously seared heart of palm scallops. And the way that I make those scallops really taste like what you imagine of seafood is actually marinating them with some seaweed, some lemon and tamari, and the final flavor is really, really delicious. The second course, Pátria, which means homeland in Portuguese, is about what it is like to be Brazilian and all of the passion and suffering of being from a country that has so much beauty, although so much injustice. The first step is to make some delicious almond ricotta, and I actually make it in a very similar way to the traditional way of making dairy ricotta. I start with making some fresh almond milk, and then I cook that up, and I finish with some lemon, which then makes it curdle, and then I put that mixture into a cheesecloth, and you actually make beautiful ricotta made out of almonds that looks and tastes very similar to dairy ricotta. I actually then add a little bit of acetophilus, which lets it ferment. I let it ferment for around 24 hours, and then I finish it off with some blanched herbs and also with some delicious mushroom medley. So then after I have this ricotta, I actually decided that I wanted to make it red. And the reason I wanted to make it red was because I wanted for it to represent this very visceral feeling of being Brazilian in the inside and this suffering of being in a country that has so much corruption, so much suffering, so much violence towards human and non-humans. And I wanted for that to be inside of the ravioli. And for actually making the ravioli, I made 2 types of dough, a yellow and a green dough. Those are the primary colors of Brazil. For yellow, I used carrots in the semolina dough, and for the green one, I used blanched basil. For the green, I actually pass it through the fettuccine cutter. Then I will make stripes here. I pass them finally through the pasta machine all the way to a 6 width. And that's when I cut the little squares to make the ravioli. And they turn out so pretty, and you have the red ricotta in the inside from the beet juice. To finish that off, I also have delicious Brazil nut sauce, which I made out of pink peppercorn. It's a very similar sauce to the one from the braised leeks that we made before in the course. Then I finish it off with some flambéed morel mushrooms, which I flambéed in cachaça, the Brazilian rum. And I also have some steamed Romanesco. Finally, the third course, Alvorada, which means sunshine, is all about the hope and the reason why we fight every day for a better Brazil where injustice does not meet anybody, whether they are human or non-human. I really wanted to make something that incorporated the tiramisu, which is, we have kind of a Brazilian version of it, pavê, which is made a lot and is very non-vegan friendly. And then I also wanted to incorporate passion fruit, which is my favorite fruit from Brazil. I came across this beautiful plating that had a dark chocolate crust in the form of a pyramid. So I decided to do something similar to that. That's why I call it a tiramisu. So I start by coating the silicone mold with some dark chocolate, and then I make the passion fruit mousse, put that inside, and then I have this delicious vanilla and lemon zest cake that I make, and I put it on top, and I finish up with some syrup that I make out of orange blossom water and brandy. I let that chill in the fridge, and I finish off with some hot caramel that I put on the plate. Then I put the dessert in there. I make some candied almonds to go with it to add a little bit of crunchiness. And then when I serve the dish on the table, I drizzle it with the hot caramel, and that creates this beautiful effect in which this dish that is very dark, it feels very heavy, just collapses, showing the sunshine that is inside with the passion fruit and all of that. So thank you, PlantLab. This was so much fun, and I'll see you in the next course.